a cabal of secret societies has controlled the world for 200 plus years, and we get to be alive at a time to see it fall.
All right, I got a surprise for you. It's Rick B2T here. We're going to be empowering Christian patriots truth the next few hours. But we were able to get not just Dr. Group, but also Dr. Ely on live too. So we got both of them. I did one of my screens not working, so I'll just do one at a time here. They'll be able to flash back and forth here. But we're talking about make yourself healthy again, not make yourself. Remember, that's your responsibility. That's what we're going to be talking about. How are you going to do that? Well, listen to the Ages, the Healing for Ages doctors here. So we got Dr. Ely and Dr. Group both here. So how are you two doing?
Well, we're doing great. We're getting ready for everything coming up in a couple days here. Everybody, if you have not registered for the virtual, please register today. Rick, what is your coupon code?
Yeah, the B2T, 30% off.
30% off on the B2T. It is something that you're not going to want to mess. I don't want to sound like a salesman here, but in reality, like, we all need to start taking responsibility for our own health. You know, we've been talking about the transhumanism agenda. We've been talking about the cabal. We've been talking about the dark forces, the satanic, the cult of Asclepius, which Dr. Ely is probably one of the world's leading experts on tracking that, satanic organization down. And we've just been docile. We haven't done anything. Like, Rick, I'm out. Look, I'm at these freedom fighting conventions. There's 3,000 people there. I'm at I was just at this big Christian event up in Minnesota. There's like 2,000 people in the audience. And these are the people that are awake. These are the people that know what's going on. But they're all, 90% of them look sick. They're overweight. Like, we have to change that. And the only person that changes you is you. We've been too dependent. Like, we're teachers. We want to teach you how to take responsibility for your own health. And let me tell you, this is the first time in history in the last 30 years that I've been preaching and teaching people to take responsibility and understand the root cause of their illness, which is the toxic external environment and the toxic internal environment. They have convinced everybody. They have zombified everybody. They have brainwashed everybody to eat sugar, drink alcohol, not, take care of their body. They're not take care of their mind, not take care of their soul, trying to keep you away from God, distracted in every single way that they can through social media, through football games, through, TV, through watching late night stuff every single night. Like, they understand one important thing, Rick. They understand the importance of time, and they also understand the importance of decisions. If they can waste your time and get you to make the wrong decisions, they have control over you.
Yes.
And that's exactly what they've done. Now, here's the big kicker in all that. We are entering into a synthetic world. Actually, we have been for quite some time with the start of genetically modified foods in the 90s, genetically modified air with the chemtrails and geoengineering, genetically modified electronics with the cell phone towers, the cell phones, all of this other stuff that affects what? It affects your body because you are a electric being.
Yeah.
It affects the cells, it affects the tissues, it affects the three things, the body, the mind, and the soul. How does it affect the soul? Well, when you're able to be controlled through your mind and distracted, you're not spending time in prayer. You're not spending time in meditation. I think the Bible mentions, Ely would know this, the Bible mentions meditation like 80 times or something like that.
least 40, Dr. Group, depending upon the translation.
At least 40 times. I don't know why meditation got such a bad name. The ancient cultures, meditation is all about going within and accessing the kingdom of heaven within. But there's so many different metaphysical translations and all this stuff. But the point I'm trying to make is, up until this point, we have been given free will to make decisions, right? Like, oh, I'm going to have the cheeseburger or I'm going to have the salad. I have a decision to make. I'm going to have, I can choose. I can choose to go get vaccines or not. I can choose to go to the medical deities and take prescription medications. I can choose to be in a non-productive work environment or a hostile work environment or a hostile relationship with somebody, my coworkers or my family members or whatever. Those are the choices that we make and we're allowed to make. However, for the first time ever, we are in a situation that we're not allowed to make a choice. And that choice is being forced upon us with the transhumanism agenda.
Yes.
Exactly what they are telling us. They come out and tell us what they're doing. We want to take God's natural carbon-based creation and change it to a silica-based man-made creation, which is biotech transhumanism. We don't have a choice. They're moving full speed ahead with this without asking us, but we do have a choice to make ourselves healthy again. We can make that choice to avoid the chemicals, the poisons. We can make the choice to clean up our internal and external environment. We can make the choice to detoxify our gut, detoxify our liver, detoxify all the parasites out of our body, detoxify all the chemicals and nanotech and metals out of our body. We do have the choice to be in our own bubble with God and to be in prayer and to be in meditation, to create our bubble of health and happiness, which is nothing outside of us is going to be distract us any longer. We just need to buck up. We need to make that choice. We need to make those decisions. And that's why Healing for the Ages has been called together to be able to go back to the simple basics of creating a non-toxic, non-poisonous lifestyle that you can live in, where you can thrive spiritually, mentally, and physically, and you can be one of the ones that raises the consciousness of the planet, but you have to raise your own consciousness first. Amen. And that's what we're going to be talking about. I've been traveling around for the past 4 years and practicing and studying ancient technologies, looking for the secret hidden manuals that only the elite had access to, like the Egyptian X schools, which the Rockefellers and the Rothschilds during the Holy Lands expedition, they actually created World War II so they could go to Egypt without anybody seeing what they were doing, and finding the ancient technologies in the X schools.
Are you doing a talk on this on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday?
Yeah, I'm going to talk on some crazy stuff that no one's ever heard before.
I'll be there.
That I've been practicing. That is the way. Like, you know what Tao means? It means the way to God, the way to self-preservation, the way to self-enlightenment. Mm-hmm. That's just, I'm taking the ancient 12,000-year-old books that were translated, 4,000, 6,000, merging it all together and finding the most important things, like the top 10 things that people can do that were proven over thousands of years to transform and heal your body, mind, and soul, and reconnect you with God and create a higher connection with God and a deeper level of enlightenment. Actually, these were all things that were passed down really from God, like, get out in nature and eat my food, the plant food, and I'm really getting into the way that the female was designed by God and the male was designed by God, and all of the ancient texts, how important God is basically love, right? I mean, we can feel the frequency of love, but yet no one has really felt that frequency of love. Well, they don't even know what love is, most people. You can ask most people, do you love yourself? And when you look in the mirror, can you say, I love you? And they will say, no, not really. Or you can ask them, what's your definition of love? Or have you ever felt love? And they say, well, when I buy a pair of new shoes or I buy a purse or, my husband buys me that, I feel love for him. Or, I look at him and I kiss and we have love. There's a whole nother deep how to generate the frequency of love, the vibration of love within you. And that means the connecting of the feminine and the masculine energies. The woman and the male were specifically designed to come together in what all the ancient texts describe as sacred love making. It wasn't sex, it was making the frequency and vibration of love. The woman is the positive side of the magnet, the male is the negative side of the magnet. And there's healing techniques that when the male and female come together with proper breathing techniques, very relaxed, they can actually create the frequency of love. In the ancient texts, the women were considered the garden of love. That was what they were called. And the men were the gardeners of love. And a woman, according to the ancient texts, will search her entire life, okay? Because the woman was the most powerful in the ancient times. It was a matriarchal society. And what happened was the guys started getting very jealous of this because the guys were there to provide. They were there to activate the women in love and secure the women and protect the women and everything like that. It was a very, very a balanced society. It wasn't like the women were more better than the men or the men were better than women.
Almost like the queen bee, right?
It was a perfect balance of masculine and feminine energy. That's where you get the yin and the yang, or the balance of energies. And so, for example, the women's aura back 12,000 years ago, there's documentation where the women had this huge golden aura around them, and the male had a golden aura around them as well. But that started to leave as time goes on, as corruption started to sink in. But it's the this is why we have so much trauma in the world today, because they hid all the books on sacred lovemaking, and they invented this sex that we've all, and porn that is exactly the opposite, which causes emotional, physical, and mental trauma. They did it on purpose. If you compare what we consider as sex today and this porn and this rapid and this, aggressive type of, I don't even call it lovemaking, you're actually causing traumas. How many people do you know in the world today that if you ask them, do you have any sexual trauma in your life, or have you ever had any sexual trauma?
A lot.
Men and women, you're probably going to get over 95% of them saying yes. They have completely degraded. So this is how they work. They figure out what the elites use as the most powerful healing methods for immortality, for spirituality, for health, for everything. And then they completely flip it around and make you do the opposite of it, which brings you down instead of bringing you up. And I'm going to be talking about this. This is going to be released for the first time ever, about how very simple techniques where a male and a female can come together. This is the destruction of society, is to make the females masculine and the males feminine. Yeah. They're reversing the polarity of the males and reversing the polarity of the females. One of the fastest ways we can come back out of this is that when the males and females come back together and they cultivate this frequency of love within them. They've taught men these kids are masturbating 5 or 6 times a day. They're losing their vital fluids. All of the ancient texts, you never lose your vital fluid, which is the semen of the male. All of these individuals practice semen retention. The more you lose your life force, which has gold, biophotonic gold in it, by the way, like in the ancient Egyptian X schools, they found out that one of the most powerful things that you can do is to drink and eat gold, because your body actually produces gold when it's out in the sunlight. Another reason why they dim the sunlight. See? So they took all of the ancient things and flipped them around and took them away from us. So we would never learn that our body can cultivate and produce biophotonic gold if we're out and we have full spectrum of the sunlight.
And said wear a hat,
there's gold in your urine, there's gold in breast milk, and there's gold in semen. The breast milk of females is their vital fluid. the semen. And by the way, in the ancient text, a female, if the guy, so we've masticated, right? We've masticated the men and the females. We've circumcised the men, which makes them more feminine. And we've masticated the female's breast, which are their master gland. Okay. We've got mammograms that females are doing, like, once a year, radiating their breast tissue. Females have been taught that their breasts look bad, so they need to do breast implant surgeries. It's been a complete structured plan to take away the two things that are the most powerful at cultivating. And women will search their whole lives, by the way, for that feeling of love, and they will try they will find other things to try to fill in the pieces of that, but they will never be satisfied and they will never feel fulfilled until a male who knows what they're doing and teaches them how to cultivate the frequency of love is with them, and they feel that love for the first time. If a woman feels that, she will never leave her male. She will be in a high state of vibration, a high state of bliss. And nowadays you have guys who have premature ejaculation. All the movies teach you that, within 5 seconds, 10 seconds, a minute, the whole procedure is over. This is exactly the opposite of what was going on in the ancient days. And this is that's just a touch of what I want. And the techniques we're going to be talking about are free, by the way. These are the techniques that were used, that were the most powerful ways to regenerate the body, mind, and soul and bring your connection back to God.
That's beautiful. So again, more detail to come on October 23rd to 25th. And
but right now, guys, you're going to have to either make the decision. You have to transform right now personally, or you're going to give up everything and they're going to deform you. Now is the breaking point in time where you have to make that decision. I do not consent to the transhumanism agenda, and I am going to do everything in my power to transcend my body, my mind, and my soul, and I will make those continue to make positive decisions in my life and continue to grow spiritually, mentally, and physically.
Yeah, and just to let everybody know, just real quickly, if you can become an Ages member, which is a very good deal, by the way, and this goes down to like $99, and then when you use the B2T code, it goes down to 30% of that, right? So it's like $70 for 3 full days, all day, right? That's less than $20. You take that into the hour, it's like a couple bucks an hour. So pretty awesome. Go to join as an Ages member. And then come in and use the B2T code for like $70 to get a virtual VIP. That includes, by the way, your ability to even ask questions during the live event, live online access, full access to all the live stream sessions afterwards, right? You got the full access to the event replays. That's what I meant afterwards. And then digital guides and materials, a conference workbook. This is an incredible deal. So get your virtual VIP pass at healingfortheages.com. Use the B2T code for 30% off. Beautiful. Thank you so much for doing that. I wanted to get Dr. Ely on as well to see, Dr. Ely, what's up with you lately?
Oh, a whole lot. A whole lot is up, Rick. It's great to be here. Thanks for having us on once again. Just to clarify, Rick, I want to make one thing for your audience on that. The use of the B2T code is for when people are not members. Our lowest price is that membership price.
Okay,
so if they are checking out, I just didn't want you to get hemmed up by somebody saying, okay, Rick, you told me it was going to be $79. No, $99 is the lowest that we go on that. And the thing is, if you can't attend like the entire conference on the weekend, maybe you had some plans or something like that, you get access to all the replays. Replays will be available. They're typically, for an event of this size, we have replays available. We're targeting the 11th of November for everything, but you get access to everything that's live and while you're there, and then the replays come back up and you have access to that for as long as you want. So it's still a phenomenal deal. I just didn't want Ricky to get hemmed up for something like that.
No, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. So again, go to healingfortheages.com, either buy your $99 ticket or get the 30% off if you're not an Ages member. Is that the correct way to say it? Right.
That's the way to say it. Now, if they wanted to get their best deal on in person, what I would do is I would become an annual member, and then you get this incredibly low price, and we still have a few seats available. We're kind of taking people in. We'll go down to Walmart or Target and go get a seat for you if we need to. We'll find a seat for you and we'll get you in and everything. We'll make sure you have some food, some good organic.
Yeah, come and see us live. I'll be there with a table for Exodus. And
when are you coming? When are you going to be in?
My brother will be there Wednesday night setting up. So all right, so. We'll be there all 3 days. Right?
You can feel the excitement right now. Like everybody's like getting like, oh my, it's like for the surfers when you're just about to push up off the board and catch that curl, like we're about to fall right into the pipeline right now and start riding. It's going to be so much fun. But I wanted to talk about something that Dr. Group had mentioned about this feminization of the men and the masculinization of the women and things like that. I think it's a very interesting topic. We see it in art, and this is one. I was watching this guy, Dr. Group, last year. He did this great thing. He was going through different cultures and their art, and he watched the same transformation happen in art, where the women's hair started to become shorter, and their goddesses became the warriors, the Athenas, and things like that. But then he was looking at Athena. He was like, "Here's how Athena looked 500 years before the fall of the Greek and Roman civilization. Here's what she looked 100 years before. Like her look changed. She started becoming more masculine, right? And so you start going, okay, well, what's happening here? How can we wrap our heads around this? It's got to go beyond skinny jeans, right? Well, you start looking at how the body functions, Rick. And what have they been telling us for the last, I don't know, Dr. Group, 40 years about cholesterol? That it's too high. It's too high. We got to sell these statin drugs, right? Well, what they were doing is they're cutting testosterone. Testosterone and estrogen are based upon cholesterol. Mm-hmm. So if your testosterone or your cholesterol levels are falling really below 200, but definitely below 180, then you're in a bad situation. That's not healthy. And I've seen so many of the white coats tell their folks that, oh, you're at 150 and you're on a Rick, I had a person I was working with years ago. He came in triple bypass, felt terrible. He was on a statin drug. We tested the cholesterol levels. They were at 99.
Wow.
Do you know what his cardiologist told him? This is a cardiologist. He told him, "You're doing great." And I said, well, what's the goal, to get to zero cholesterol? Like that's preposterous. So of course I took him immediately off the statin, and we retested him in like 2 months. We had him eating some shellfish and eggs and things like that. We got a little bit of coconut oil, everybody, with some meat, a little bit of coconut. Like there's a time for meat. Meat might not be everybody's jam, but there's a time medicinally for it when it's clean. So we got that going. His numbers rebounded, Rick. They were up above 180 within 2 months, right? So it was like, and he's like feeling great. He's like, oh my God, I can think again. He had brain fog that was so bad.
Right.
So, but it starts explaining, Rick, also why they're attacking tobacco. Guess what tobacco does? It stimulates
the nutrient
testosterone. It's why you see the cowboys smoking that Marlboro, right? Because it stimulates the production of testosterone in the body. And so if we're not talking about testosterone production for men, you're not going to have a man. You're going to have a neutered man. And they figured out how to neuter a male molecularly without having to just castrate him. That's what it is. That's what's going on. So when we see this, we see the total flip and everything. And this is the fall of every great culture. When you see this flip happening, it's never worked out. It's never worked out in history, this flip. So we have to be a little bit above it and go, you know what? I see what you're doing. Thank you for the offer. I politely decline. I do not want that. I like eggs. I like a little bit of tobacco every now and then. I like moving my booty when everybody else doesn't want to do it. I like doing the things that stimulate me to feel good about myself, because when I feel good about myself, I am walking closer to God. There is no reality that God has ever created where his children, he wanted them to suffer, where he wanted his children to go out there and have a miserable experience. Now, he's going to give you free will, so you can have as many self-inflicted wounds as your spirit can handle, right? But it's not like the big fella's up in the sky rooting for us. You messed up. That's not what this is about, but that's what they want you to believe it's about. And so for us, it's really simple, Rick. We restore and renew our faith in that wonderful relationship with our Creator. One of the great things that you love about religion is the communities that form.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that you have a problem with religion, if you're like me, is that religion wants to control the relationship between you and your Creator.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I go back to Yeshua and I say that he was very much not about that. He was teaching us that that's a sacred thing between you and your Creator. No one has the right, and you don't need to pay and tithe and pay homage to the Pharisees and all this stuff to have this relationship. That's what pissed off the Pharisees, right?
Yeah.
We all agree on this, correct? We've all been reading this story enough to know what was really going down. Yeshua was messing with the money. And when you mess with the money, you mess with control. And that's where Dr. Group was saying, I know as much as pretty much anybody on the cult of Asclepius. That's what I did this summer, Rick. I went to Zion and I spent a month researching the cult of Asclepius. And I was listening to your intro, and it's a beautiful intro. And you say, for 200 or more years, right, that this has been going on. We traced it back 2,500 years.
Wow.
I can show you where it began and where the transition took place. I can pinpoint where that occurred in the Mediterranean. And we got a book coming out about it next year. One of the chapters is going to detail it, over 100 references, like 115 references in that chapter alone. So, because I don't want to have this argument. I'm not here to argue. None of us are here to argue with anyone. We're here to help everyone who's willing to help themselves. That's what we're here for. And wherever somebody says, well, I can't do something, our question back to you is going to be, well, what can you do? Can you do this? Can you do? There's always an opportunity if you look at things through the right eyes, the really positive, optimistic eyes. There's always something that you can do. And then one step, Rick, leads to another step, and then another step. And pretty soon you're moving from taking steps to actually taking leaps in your life. And that's what working with the Healing for the Ages doctors is like. We have a great story. I told we get, it's so, this is where you are loved and blessed. We get so many positive testimonials virtually every day from people who have studied with us or putting into play the things that we're teaching and things like that, exploring them for themselves. And I have this story of a woman named Nancy. I was doing an X interview a couple months ago, I think it was, Dr. Group, and she came on because she's so sweet. Like all of you, everybody's so sweet and so just like, I don't want to bother you. You know what I mean? Like it's like, first of all, let me tell you, you're not bothering us ever.
Right.
Okay. That's not what's going on. I know you're really busy, Dr. H. I know you're really busy, Dr. Group. Yeah, we are really busy, but we're never too busy for you. We're never too busy to teach God's medicine, never, right? Especially for people who are putting in the work and willing. You know what I mean? Like that's why we do what we do. But she comes into this, she sneaks into this X interview that I'm doing. And she's like, Dr. Ely, after it was over, can I talk to you for a second? I was like, yeah, of course. Well, I know you're really busy. Come on, we're family. Talk to me. Like, what's going on, right? And I'm thinking, Dr. Group, that it's going to be one of those. This is what I have going on. Can you answer a couple questions for me? Kind of, because we get those conversations are literally every day for all of us. She goes, Dr. Ely, I got to tell you, 2023, when you all put on that first conference, me and my husband could not get out of bed. We were bedridden.
Wow.
And then we started doing what all of you have been teaching. We took that workbook and we put it into play. We just promised ourselves we were going to start doing it. They did something powerful, Rick. They made the choice to take control, full control of their lives by taking control of their health. She said, Dr. Ely, you don't know this and you probably don't remember me, but last year I walked to the conference with my husband. We got out of the bed and we made sure we were going to be healthy enough to come to it. And I tracked you down and I gave you a big hug. Now, in my defense, I get about 1 million hugs and I love every single one of them. So this one didn't necessarily stand out. I wish she had told me this story last year. It would have really popped.
Right.
But Rick, she said, Dr. Ely, what you guys are doing, the four of you, is so profound that my friends are seeing me walking around now. My friends are seeing me smile and happy, and they haven't seen this, some of them, ever in me. I've
Right.
been sick for so long.
That's
And they're
awesome.
asking me questions now. And I'm like, that's great. And are you answering the questions? She's like, well, I'm answering the best I can. I'm answering the best I can. I hope I'm getting it right. I was like, I'm sure you are. She said, Dr. Ely, I'm coming back at 2025. Me and my husband are coming back again. And we each sponsored two people to come back
Ah,
with
that's so
us,
cool.
two people to help, right? And you're just like, hallelujah. If there's ever a time to use the word hallelujah, that's the time to use it right there. Like, that's why we do what we do. Dr. Group doesn't need to do any of this, y'all. This dude runs one of the biggest companies in this industry. He doesn't
Right.
need to do this. He does it because he loves it.
Yeah.
Dr. Artis, you think that dude needs to do this? He's got it on lockdown. His whole family is there. Dr. J, same.
Mm.
Me, I don't think wild horses and a pack of elephants could drag me away. We love doing it so much because we get to have that's the payment in full. We've
Mm-hmm.
taught, we've shared something that we know to be powerful, and then somebody did something really truly miraculous. They made the decision, they took the choice, they exercised their free will to say, I don't know how this is going to work out for me, but I'm going to give it everything that I've got right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to do it day after day after day after day. And I teach my son, you start stacking those days. That was a good day. Tuesday was a good day. You go to Wednesday, you stack and you put Wednesday, another good day. You put another good day. Pretty soon you go through a few weeks of doing that and you're like,
Woo!
wow, I'm really starting to feel different. I'm starting to maybe look a little different. My mind and my thoughts are changing. I'm getting closer to God. I can hear him more clearly.
Right.
And then it becomes just a way of being. And I think that's if we can impart anything to everybody here, it would be this, Rick, real simple. We have all been touched by the Heavenly Father. He has come to each one of us and he has definitely been very clear about what we are supposed to be doing. It's
Mm-hmm.
not an accident that for really the first time that I've been able to trace in history, and I'm a historian, I go back and I look for these things. This is the first time I've seen four master teachers come together and work together in harmony. This is the first time I've ever seen it. It's
Mm-hmm.
not mentioned. You always see there's these great doctors out there in history, but there's one of them. And
Mm-hmm.
then they have their disciples, their students. I have never seen where four have come together when they're at the pinnacle of their teaching prowess, and then learning and feeding off of each other and all this other stuff, to where it's not about us, it's about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's about you getting what you need from us so that you can share that with everybody in your life. That's why you come to Healing for the Ages. And of course, you get the big hugs on top of it too, but you get to have these experiences. And I think you get these incredible topics that nobody's talking about, from transhumanism. Dr. Group brought that to all of our attentions. We were like, whoa, I knew it was deep. I didn't know it was that deep. You get
Right.
the talking of going into the ancient texts and saying, hey, let me share with you what I've been learning,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let me show you what I'm doing. You get Dr. Jana and this beautiful grace that she has coming in, right? This incredible grace she has. She's been under so much pressure and she's still so dedicated. She's like, I'm doing this. You get Dr. Artis, who's just this like fireball, funny, tower of power. He never tires out. Yeah, bring it on, bring it on. I've heard it so much. I just want to put it on a bumper sticker now. Bring it on, bring it on, bring it on. Right. And then you get this crazy dude on here who hangs out with them and is like, yeah, you know what? That's messed up. Let's go learn something about this. Let's go figure out some deeper stuff. You get the nerd in here where I'm like, let me go and grab my little equipment, my Inspector Gadget little equipment, and let's go gadget test some stuff and see if it's actually working. You put that mix together and you have this incredible special time. And this is what I like to remind people of what's going on right now. You get this moment in your life where everything is right.
Mm-hmm.
Your health might be not be exactly where it needs to, but you know you have a plan now for the first time. You have people around that care about you, people that are going to look after you, people that are going to treat you like family because that's what we are. You know that that's going on. You know you have people that are learning as much as they can still. Each of us are more students now than maybe we've ever been. We are studying like crazy right now to be able to provide this. You put all that together, and what you get is this really special moment in all of our lives where there's going to be a point in time, 10, 20 years from now, who knows, where we look back on this time and we say, it was rough, it was hard, right? But man, I'm so grateful for that experience. I'm so grateful for all of these wonderful people that I got to be a part of their lives and they got to be a part of my life and what we did together. That it's not just the four docs, it's healing for the ages is all of us. And because it's all of us, we're all shifting the consciousness of this planet into something that God, in my heart, I know is very proud of. Is very proud of. I see my children out there and I see them doing good and I see them doing right. And whenever God sees people doing good and doing right, he sends support. He sends help in. We all know this. It's not some hopeful thing. You don't need hope for that. That's just a matter of fact of what's going to happen. So for us, let's keep building this bigger family. It's all of us. Yeah, the four of us got our names on this bad boy. So what? What's in the name? What matters is the feelings that we create between each other, the love that we share between each other, the knowledge that we share between each other. And for all of you, I want you to write this down in your notes, and I want you to remember this, what I'm about to tell you right now. You will never know what someone can do and what someone can be until you encourage them. That's what the four of us and why you love the four of us, because every single time you come across us, we are encouraging you, encouraging you, encouraging, encouraging. Yeah, there's some bad, stupid stuff going on by a bunch of people that have clearly lost their way from God. But we don't need to get sucked up into that. All we have to do is stay together and keep encouraging each other. God has given us everything we need to solve this problem, just like he's given everyone all throughout known time everything that they need to solve any problem that's come up. And so we stand in that light with him and we say, thank you, Father. I love you so very much for this wonderful gift you're giving me right now. That's where I land on it, y'all. And I hope that you do too, because that's a
Amen.
very sacred space to be in.
Amen. I just love how you guys love learning from each other too. So, awesome, Dr. Group first. Dr. Group, is there something that you're looking forward to listening to from one of the other doctors?
Well, I'm always, the thing with us is we're constantly, if we were to post the amount of chats and phone calls and texts that we do with each other behind the scenes, which we might do one day. We talked about it not too long ago.
Yeah.
We should just make all that public, but it's a constant everyday thing. I learned it's really a beauty. God just really formed this group of doctors perfectly because we all are able to research different things, but ultimately it wraps around like an umbrella of knowledge of supporting everything else that we're doing. And we all play just a perfect role. Ely's like the tester, scientist, nerd, and we're all like working on, we're just a bunch of crazy scientists, mad scientists, really, and just trying to help humanity. Like Ely was talking about, there's a lot of people out there that are just in it for the money and they're just trying to, get rich off of the natural health care thing. For us, what brings us the most satisfaction and fulfillment has never been money. It's always been how many people we help. And
Right.
as a matter of fact, my company, Global Healing, our North Star is not money, never has been. It's always been how many people we help. That's our gauge. So yeah, it's beautiful because ultimately that's how you get rewarded. I mean, when you're on a higher level of consciousness and spirituality, and if you do that, the money will come, and you can use the money for more good to help more people. Really, that's the philosophy behind it. So, yeah, don't miss out. Register today. Healing for the Ages. I got to jump off. I got another call coming up here, but
I got to jump
just
too.
wanted to thank you guys so much for being on. Thank you, Rick. We'll see you there, and hopefully we'll see as many people as possible over there this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ed, stay on one quick second. You guys don't know this about this man that's talking right there.
Mhm.
That is the most generous human being I have ever seen in my entire life. When somebody asks him for something, it's always an automatic yes. And that person always gets more than they even asked for. And he never asks for anything in return. You have to understand these little glimpses of the people behind the scenes. That dude right there on screen right now is easily the most generous man in the United States of America, if not the world. That's who you're looking at.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. It's just been beautiful to have you here. The Backstagers won't
Now
mind
you can go. Now,
All
Dr.
right,
Group,
all
now that
right.
I made you blush, now you can go.
Yeah, thank you for that. But the way I see it is, I'm just doing God's work, and I can say the same about you, and I can say the same about Jen, and I can say the same about Brian and many other people, probably Rick and everybody else. We're just doing God's work, so I appreciate that. So anyway, love you guys. I'm out. We'll catch up in a few days.
Sounds
Adios.
great.
I got a jam too, and we love y'all. And I know that everybody wants to pray for us. And I would say to you, thank you. Please keep praying for us. We will feel it 100%. But thank you so very much for everything. And Rick, thank you for everything. We are so grateful for all the love and support you've been giving to us over the years. It's been fantastic. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, we love you guys and can't wait to see you. If the Backstagers would mind unmuting and saying thank you. And
Good night. Good night. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. God bless. See you. Be
bless.
safe.
Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
God
Be
bless.
safe. Sorry to bother you.
Well, no, you're not bother me.
We need more doctors like it. We need more doctors like them.
Yeah, we do. When we gonna raise more doctors like us, that's why we're teachers.
These
We love you.
doctors don't know good medicine.
Love you too.
Don't
all
retrain
right.
them.
Thank you so much, Doctor.
Still too many people.
Amen. Thank you so much, Linda.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Rick. All right, we'll talk to you all. We'll see you all this week, okay?
Sounds great.
Okay.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Pretty cool to be able to share that, and just wanted to reiterate and clarify a couple of things that I just learned is that you want to register here. There's still some seats available. I thought they would be sold out by now, so you can come live. If you can get to Dallas, they've got some to actually be there Thursday, Friday, as well as I'm just muting some people back. So again, make yourself healthy again. Again, instead of the Maha movement, right, and make America healthy again. It's like we need to take our own path toward this, right, and that really means educating yourself. And I know Dr. Artis is going to be talking about exactly how to read your own blood work and what to do because of that with natural solutions versus the big pharma pills, right? There's so much that you can learn. And again, you can be there live. I'll be there. Can't wait to see you guys Thursday, Friday, Saturday, if you can come to Dallas. If not, again, you can register. You can get 30% off of the virtual VIP. That virtual VIP is awesome, by the way. And so again, so you get 30% off that $179, or you can go to Ages members and get it for $99. Again, this includes asking questions at the event, digital guides, all types of things. You guys will really enjoy this conference if you can spend those 3 days, mark out those 3 days, and join me. I'm excited about really what I felt was one of the best conferences I've ever been to. The first year, the second year, unfortunately, I was traveling, but I'll be there the third year here. This is the third year they're having it. Friday and Saturday will be only the 4 doctors everybody wanted. We just want 2 days of you guys only, right? But then there's a lot of other people like Dr. Sherry Tenpenny and a bunch of other beautiful people in the health movement all day Thursday. So it's just going to be a great 3-day conference, and I'm looking so forward to it. So let's talk about some breaking news, why we're here, before we go to praise and prayer. The White House Economic Advisor Hassett says a shutdown could end this week, which is real interesting. It looks like the Democrats, he suggested the Democrats are waiting to vote to reopen the government until after this weekend's No Kings protest. And that No Kings protest, the media is lying to you. They're actually playing videos from other protests because it wasn't nearly well as attended, doesn't look as impressive. So they got caught 5 or 6 times showing incorrect information about what it was. They're lying about, like Bernie Sanders was saying there's 7 million people were involved. And you ask Grok, how many people really were at the No Kings protest, and they add it all up. It's like barely over 1 million. And so again, they lie to you. The mainstream media, the elites, they all lie, and it's really an interesting thing. I actually wrote a blog about it. So if you go to the faithandfreedom.org, so faith with the N, freedom.org, you'll see that's just our website that we have for the new network ministry, media network ministry, right? Media free from deception. And I have a blog. Do you see this over here? There's a blog link. So you guys can see that. I'll make sure that's in the show notes as well. But you see it's just called the MSM No Kings Plot. Globalists dividing America in an attempt to crush Trump. And it was a big failure if you really dig into it. And so you'll see here, as devoted follower of Christ, I view this world through the unyielding truth of Scripture, not the deceptive haze spun by the mainstream media. Ephesians 6 reminds us that our battle is against the rulers of darkness, right? Because we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the cosmic powers over their present darkness, and against the spiritual forces of evil in heavenly realms. And these rulers of darkness are the globalist elite, bankrolled by George Soros, vast fortunes of USAID, shadowy NGOs. Their No Kings slogan isn't a call for liberty. It's a ruthless blueprint to dismantle any leader who champions national sovereignty, biblical values, and common good. Consider the relentless 95% negative onslaught against President Trump. This is no coincidence. It's a coordinated blitz from the deep state, scripted in those notorious 4 a.m. talking points, engineered to fracture families, undermine churches, and the clear path for their borderless empire. We cannot stand idly by. It's time to shatter this illusion and reclaim our God-ordained dynasty. So that's the first part of this. This talks about the MSM deception engine, fueling globalist agendas, gets into the No Kings exposed, their war on godly leadership, the 4 a.m. spin factory, MSM's hatred versus Trump, the 95% Trump smear, eroding faith in America, division, designed, globalist shatter unity. And I end with this. This is the prophetic call: break free, rally for victory, right? And then the Great Awakening, media distrust fuels MAGA, and the the Turning Point USA surge. And I guess I end here with a prophetic charge: dismantle the yoke, rally the faithful. So this is how I end this, and it says, help wake up the country from the lies. Speak about the deception. Arm yourself and others with careful wisdom. Check every MSM twist. They twist everything, right? Against the Bible, and reliable watchmen like independent news sources. Step outside their controlled world. That's part of going to America. Make yourself healthy again, right? Versus trusting in the white coat medicine, the Rockefeller medicine. You really need to step outside their control. That's why I suggest really linking in with these 4 doctors. Again, through podcast gathering and honest conversations. And part of that gathering is what we're doing this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, to heal division and expose their sneaky plan to split us apart. Build strong community strongholds, Bible study groups, and break down the elite schemes. And action drives that echo Proverbs 29 promise for joy under righteous leaders. I think this is important right here. It's Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous increase, the people rejoice. But when the wicked rule, the people groan. Isn't that true? Reject Soros's NGO networks as poison from Herod's playbook. Demand full openness to USAID's betrayals, and hold the line with Trump. The flawed fighter, we're all flawed, right? God called to clean out the rot. For Ephesians 5 commands us to call out the worthless deeds of darkness and not hide from the fight. So here's Ephesians 5:11. I think this is the call for us all. Take no part in the unfruitful works of darkness, but instead expose them. So that's why I ask you guys, to just continue to fight with me by, thumbsing this up to help with the algorithm. Share it so we get this out. Make sure you subscribe. This is the way we're going to fight this. This last paragraph says this is our battle line. Suit up with prayer and determination. Through Christ's victory, we declare justice on the guilty. The MSM's no king scam crumbles under the hammer of truth. Their division tricks exposed as frantic last gasps. United in faith, armed with clear eyes, we'll reclaim our legacy. Not to worship human leaders, but to honor the eternal king who crushes globalist dreams into powder. The comeback is rising. Grab hold of it or fade into the dark. Choose life, America. Choose Trump. Choose truth. And watch the evil ones flee in defeat. Isn't that exciting? That's a part of this whole No Kings, just a blog I decided I needed to write. So I'll be writing blogs almost every weekend. You can follow that again at faithandfreedom.tv or faithandfreedom.org. This is at. And go to the blogs site. You'll see I've got 5 or 6 or 4 or 5 of them up there right now. Some other news. Trump gives Zelensky reality check in alleged shouting match before sending him on his way. Zelensky allegedly caught an earful at the White House on Friday and left empty-handed. President Trump was working ardently to bring an end to the war between Russia and Ukraine, a war that resulted in millions of casualties and transformed each of eastern Ukraine into a dome-vetted wasteland. Fresh off the brokering the tension, ceasefire in Gaza, speaking with the Russian Vladimir Putin, Trump hosted Ukraine Zelensky on Friday. And while Trump suggested on social media that the meeting was cordial, many people talked about it being different. Zelensky evidently saw his trip to the White House as an opportunity to ask Trump for long-range Tomahawk missiles. The Ukrainian president seeks to use such missiles to concert with long-range drones to strike deep inside Russia, including military bases, factories, oil, infrastructure, and command centers, as well as Moscow, in hopes of turning the tide of the war and improving Kyiv's position in the future negotiations. So that's what he was after, and Trump was not happy about that. And so you don't want to make the man mad, right? Here's Vice President J.D. Vance's half-brother. Actually, will not be intimidated after the church window hit by a bullet. So these guys are becoming violent. They're screaming violence as well. Trump signs rare earth agreement with Australia's PM. This is interesting. This is what Trump's doing. He's really working on, if you want to trade with us, I need some things from you, or otherwise you're going to be nailed with tariffs and you're not going to be part of this new economy I'm building. Go work with China by yourself, right? The deal comes amid China's weaponization of global supply chains via significantly expanding its export control on minerals. So this is, that China's long-term plan was to control everything and then raise prices and keep things from us that we need to handcuff us, right? And so Trump is really keeping that, just doing deals everywhere, right? We've been working on that for quite a while, Trump said, referring to the rare earth deal as he hosted Albanese and his delegation in the cabinet room. In about a year from now, we will have so much critical mineral and rare earths, you won't know what to do with them. So Trump is saying, China, you're not going to win this war on rare earth, right? Here's an article on the sneaky way corporate America blacklists conservatives and how some are fighting back. So this is a good article that you'll find in the show notes. I think you really enjoy that digs in to some of those type of things that we just hit. It says, we, the undersigned organizations, urge Benevity to immediately end the use of its Southern Poverty Law Center's heat map. So this Southern Poverty Law Center is a complete anti-Christian, anti-West, anti-white. They hate everything that's not the most crazy, progressive, liberal, communist stuff. And they have hate maps and hate lists in determining which nonprofits are eligible for corporate charitable giving and employee matching programs. And so so people are starting to hit back on this hate map, right? Where they basically are the Southern Poverty Law Center needs to be completely exposed. This is what we're talking about. Expose these people. And so the more you can expose these things, the better we have of being able to fight these things. And that the whole this benevolence hopefully is going to change its ways, and that's why we're fighting back on this. There's videos here about this, talking about the SPLC, and they gained its reputation by suing Ku Klux Klan groups into bankruptcy, but now puts mainstream conservative and Christian groups on hate map with Klan groups, suggesting they represent a similar threat to America. Just craziness happening in that organization. Here's House GOP announces $24 million cash haul as government shutdown drags on. And so the NRCC brought in nearly $14 million in September alone. So basically what you have here is, unlike if you look at, there's some funny things that I don't have time to cover completely, but like CNN's having a report that Trump is more popular during this shutdown than before it began. While what happened in his first term, they effectively used it because Trump was not as prepared as he was this time, and they basically mouthpieced the mainstream media. Now, we've taken over a lot of the media, which is a beautiful thing, but now, and so they are able to blame Trump for the shutdown, and basically his popularity went down significantly. It did not work this time. So everything the enemy's doing is not working this time. It's just beautiful to see that happen, isn't it? I wanted to show you a couple other things. I always like to go to Trump Truth, so I'm going to go to Truth Social real quick and just refresh on Trump to see what his latest posts are. Here's 6 minutes ago, so it's always fun to see the really fresh post. The FBI under my administration is doing an incredible job. Since January 20th, more than 28,000 violent criminals have been arrested, record-breaking, with over 6,000 illegal weapons seized, more than 1,700 child predators, and 300 human traffickers taken off the streets, 5,000 innocent children rescued, 2,000 criminal enterprises disrupted, 1,900 kilos of fentanyl, enough to kill 125 million people, taken out. Historic results. We are bringing law and order back to America. Cash, Dan, Andrew, and the men and women of the FBI are doing a tremendous job making America safe again. Because they're trying to do everything to cause divisions between Pam Bondi and Dan Bongino. Talk about Bongino's mad at Cash, Cash is mad at Pam. So the media, he's dispelling a lot of these lies, right? Then he's talking a lot about, giving his credentials on or his approval of various people. Here's another one just 1 hour ago. I am pleased to announce that ground has been broken on the White House grounds to build a new, big, beautiful White House ballroom, completely separate from the White House itself. The East Wing is being fully modernized as part of the process and will be more beautiful than ever when it's complete. For more than 150 years, every president has dreamt about having a ballroom at the White House to accommodate people for grand parties, states visits, etc. I'm honored to be the first president to finally give this much-needed project underway with zero cost to the American taxpayer. The White House ballroom is being privately funded by many generous patriots, great American companies, and yours truly. The ballroom will be happily used for generations to come. So that's interesting. He's talking about who's going to serve as a judge, other people. He brought in the Australian Prime Minister, as we just talked about. Here's a whole thing about Maria Bartiromo is really getting good guests on to talk about. President Trump reflects on the former President Bush's decision to launch an invasion against Iraq in 2003. So this is only a minute 52. Let's listen to Trump on this.
Is there a timeline to get Hamas to disarm?
It's not a hard timeline, but it's a line in my own mind. And at a certain point, if they don't do what they're supposed to do, then we'll have to do it for them. If we win the tariff case, which hopefully we will, it's vital to the interests of our country. We're the wealthiest country there is. We'll see what happens with China. They're always looking for an edge. They ripped off our country for years. I think we're going to be fine with China, but we have to have a fair deal. It's got to be fair. Investing in America, $20 trillion. No country's ever done anywhere even near that. It's a miracle what's happening. We are building the greatest country in the world. If they took away tariffs, then they've taken away our national security. The Democrats are kamikazes right now. They're kamikaze pilots right now. They have nothing going. They have no future. They have incompetent candidates. You look at what we did in D.C. Washington, D.C. was a death trap. We moved out 1,700 career criminals and criminals from other countries that came in through Biden's open border. We're going to go to San Francisco. The difference is I think they want us in San Francisco. Our cities that are Democrat-run, exclusively just about, are unsafe cities. They want $1.5 trillion for health care for illegal aliens that come into our country. If we do that, it will jeopardize the health care of the citizens of our country. I see John Bolton just got indicted. That's a good thing. He's a bad guy. All he wanted to do is drop bombs on people. I don't know what he did. It must be pretty severe. But whatever it is, let the courts decide. And Obama spied on my campaign. And he did it knowing it was illegal. And there were a lot of dishonest people. And I suspect they'll be caught.
A great little this collage there that he put up on here. This is the Donald Trump actually retweeting this. That just drives the Trump, the No Kings people crazy when it has Trump 2024, Trump 2028, Trump 2032, Trump 2036, Trump 2040. Right, a whole video on that. Everybody, I'm interviewed by the great Maria Bartiromo. She's telling people that. And then also I know we're out of time with the hour, but I wanted to just go to my X account real quick and just point you guys to I'll go through here and put up some great stories. So as you come through here, there's my blog I was talking about. Here's a bunch of other stuff. Like here's Cat Turd talking about organizes claim of 7 million rely on self-reported small events. This is where you have Bernie Sanders saying there are 7 million people. Well, here is Grok saying 1 to 1.5 million nationwide, not 7 million. Hype exceeds reality, as in past rallies. Independent analysis align closer to this discounting unscrutinized totals. So just think about that. They have a little over 1 million people coming across all these cities with all this money and paid protesters. While we, as in the Stop the Still, JJ6, where we went there, they had estimated 2 million people in one city in D.C. So it just shows you that this was quite the flop, right? If you will. A lot going on in Nigeria. That's kind of scary. This is kind of an interesting clip here about melanoma, because my brother has melanoma. It's going. He's controlling it most primarily naturally, and the tumors are shrinking, which is a beautiful thing. And the only really problem he has is a side effect of a big pharma immunotherapy, right? So it just shows you some of these things are just real scary. But here's a 1:16 clip talking about melanoma that makes you think a little bit.
If any doctor ever tells you to stay out of...
In fact, I'm live on YouTube, so I'm not going to play that. I'm going to point you to that, guys. So it's talking the truth versus lies. So go listen to that. Again, you'll find, I'll put this in the show notes, but you'll find all this on my Blessed to Teach X account, right? X.com account. Here's a last thing I'll end is with the Elvis talking about the No Kings. Let's listen.
Well, I heard about those folks holding the No King signs outside. I just want to make it real clear, I never gave myself that title. People started calling me the king of rock and roll, and I appreciate the compliment, but it didn't come from me.
So you don't consider yourself a king?
No, ma'am. There's only one true king, and that's Jesus Christ.
Woo! Isn't that right? There's only one king, and that is Jesus Christ. How beautiful is that? So if you go to the neighborhood.social, that is where a lot of us get together to talk. It's a Christian Patriot Facebook type page, and you can see by looking at the events what's coming up here. Again, I'm excited. On Thursday I'm going to be leaving the artists seminar to come in and interview Brian Ferry. He's a brilliant technician who's doing level 1 blockchain for Optio, which is part of Parler. So Parler's back, and it's now got Play TV. They're about ready for us to be able to go live on Play TV, and it's kind of like the YouTube competitor. and they have a whole infrastructure now where they can't be taken down. Like Truth Social's on Amazon, just like Parler was when they got taken down, right? Or what Clout Hub just got taken down. So they could take down, AWS could take down Truth Social again. So, but Parler, they can't, because they own the entire infrastructure, the CDN, the hardware, all the way into the optical blockchain. So it's exciting what they're doing. Sherry Tenpenny's going to be on soon. We got Donna Clement and her husband coming on. That's going to be fun. And then SG Anon coming on as well. So these are all great shows. Don't miss those. Mondays and Thursdays is when we bring on the guests, just like we had Dr. Group and Dr. Ely on today. Hey, with that, we're going to move over. Remember, go to the Rumble channel or to Faith and Freedom TV of Word and Worship. So, and again, that's Word and Worship. And it would be the channel. You can see it right here at the Word and Worship channel on Rumble is where we're going next to do praise and prayer. Here, we do that for licensing purposes of the music. So make sure you come over there. Or you can just go to Faith and Freedom TV, which is the new platform. And you'll see right here, there is a praise and prayer and Word and Worship live channel right there. Will be live there as well. That's Faith with that little N as in Nancy, Faith and Freedom .tv is another place you can watch this live. So we're live right now on the live shows channel. And Donna Clement goes live on Tuesdays, 8 p.m. Eastern time. The national prayer for Trump was live on Friday. And again, we'll be live right here on the Praise and Prayer channel, live. All that on the new, really, we're consolidating all the people being silenced all in one place. So you got Dr. Artist coming on here. You've got Dr. Tenpenny, I'm going to talk to all the doctors this Thursday and Friday, Saturday as well to get the Biohacking TV 7x24 channel going where all these doctors are being silenced. They'll be on one place. I think you're going to really enjoy this. This whole network, over 1,000 videos, both live events as well as live channels. Most importantly, access to almost everything. And 70% of all this content is free, right? So there is a subscription to like $4.99 to get to more content, or $9.99 if you want to get to all of it. But all these exclusive channels, everything here is free at faithandfreedom.tv. With that, guys, we're moving over to the other channel. God bless you all. If Backstage would mind us unmuting and saying goodbye, tell people to come over to Word and Worship.
See you, Word and Worship. God bless y'all.
Good night, everybody. Bye. Hey, Sarah. Hello. Christian soldiers. We are hello. Together. Hi, baby. How are you? I'm not listening, Shirley. I said it wrong. I always say your name wrong. It's sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. But I try hard not to do that. I am really sorry.
As you are.
TV amplifies truth. Our world-leading platform delivers news, teachings, worship, movies, and music rooted in biblical values and constitutional patriotism, inspiring faith and liberty. We inspire, equip, and amplify Christian patriots to share powerful stories of faith, family, and freedom. With live events, thousands of on-demand videos, and access on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, Android, and iOS, we're transforming culture globally for God and country. New content is coming to ignite faith. Join our mission to counter deception. Visit faithandfreedom.tv and download the Faith and Freedom TV app today.